This week's video sees absolute carnage in Race A. Race B, well, more and more carnage. And in Race C, well, we're 3 wide as we leave turn 1. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Gran Turismo weekly race guide here in 2023. It's week number 3 already, which is pretty nuts to me. But yes, we are here at Monza for race A in the Mclaren P1 GTR. Wow, it's just a race and a half, trust me. Let's have a look exactly what we're doing here in race A then. We're racing 6 laps at Monza. It's a grid start, and the chicane does exist, so expect carnage. We're on the racing hard tyres, which just give it a nice bit of grip. And as I say, we're in the P1 GTR, which has DRS and KERS, essentially. Well, I expect it to be KERS. I think it's KERS in the real car. Essentially a boost button, but you press one and it does both. So happy days, nice and easy for you there. Timestamps there in the background if you want to skip over race A, because I imagine some of you don't want to visit the carnage that is race A. However, without further ado, we are going to visit the carnage. We are going to have an experience of race A. Let's jump to that race right now. Here we are then at the start. Lots of TCR in this one. Look at this. TCR takeover happening on Gran Turismo. You're seeing it here. So traction control, whack it on 1. You will need it for this car. It's got a lot of power. As we get ready to go then. Look at it being used there. Look at the traction control. Kick it in. Up to 2nd gear then. Then 3rd gear. Turn it off. And then here we go. Heading towards turn 1. Fed just absolutely sends Misha to the shadow realm there. My word. In towards turn 1 we go. What carnage are we going to... Oh, okay. It's not too bad. Whoa! From behind. What? Oh, my word. Everybody is everywhere with this race. That was insane. And of course, I get sent to the back of the field here. So people everywhere. Now, Chelsea was the one who actually hit me from behind there. So Chelsea actually waits up there. Got 5-second penalty and still waited. So fair play. We will have a look at it from Chelsea's perspective shortly. Well, at the end with the bloopers, of course. So we're back up to P9 then. Lots of places to make here as somebody else is off there. Misha's off again. And it's Fed again. These two are at it like nobody's business. Anyway, down the inside of Fed we go in towards the braking zone. They completely outbrake themselves up to P7 then as we continue on out of there. So the cursed one up in the distance then. Where can we get? We're 6.5 seconds off. That's a lot to make. But this is a 6-lap race. This is a long race for race A as we head into the braking zone then. Slowing the car down. Oh, no, we've hit the sausage. That's not good. So make sure you avoid those then. You can see that. Bounce us off out wide as we leave that corner. And we have Scream Man there in the distance. And let's see what we can do. Oh, we got a penalty here for Just Illusion. So down the inside of them in towards the braking zone we go. Scream goes off there as well, out wide. So it looks like we could get 2 positions here. It's going to be very tight. Yes, we do. P5 for us then as we leave that corner and head down the start-finish straight, heading towards turn 1, then in towards braking zone we go. I sort of went into the middle of the road here. I did not want to get punted from behind, and we avoid it. We thankfully avoid it. Everybody manages to stop the car. We get through there. Everybody runs wide behind. We continue out then. So let's advance a bit further on in the race. Well, it's towards the next chicane, actually. Coming through here then. Oh, got somebody else off here then. The Spaniards off. They will have just span out there. So up into P4 then. We've got Sai up ahead as we continue on in the race. And we actually have DRS. That boost has now gone down the bottom left. Make sure you do map the boost and DRS. So it's nitro/overtake the button. Mine's on triangle, if that helps in the slightest. But we're on the inside. It's like Sai going around the outside here. This is a beautiful defensive move there from Sai. Keeps that position for now, but we are going to be in that slipstream as we head towards turn 1. DRS is enabled now. Make sure you're in a straight line as well. DRS will deactivate if you are not going straight. So it's kind of critical you point and squirt this car literally straight out, forward, go. In towards braking zone we go. Sai going around the outside here. Gets the car stopped as well. Beautiful stuff. I stop a bit short here, so Sai keeping that position, but runs a bit wide there. Very easy to do in this car at the exit of turn 1. Just run wide and run off. We've seen that on the last lap and then this lap as well. So we go to the final lap here where Max Power decides to drift the car around Les Mills 1 and straight into the barrier. So I hope you enjoy that little date there, Max Power, with Barry R. So through the right we go. Continue on out. We're in P2 at this moment in time. We advance towards the end where we stay in P2. But this race will have carnage. You've seen a lot of that already. But this is the first race of the day. It's where the most carnage happens. It's why I like doing it as well. But yes, you will experience some carnage. But I would probably recommend just trying this at least once. In terms of the track guide then, heading towards turn 1, what you're looking for here is the 200 meter board. You're braking just before that, okay, on the left-hand side. Literally brake just before it. hard braking, and just be careful here because depending on how you exit the parabolica, you may have to brake a bit earlier, you may be able to brake a bit later. Going into here, you want to stay in third gear in reality, let the car roll through, be careful of oversteer on exit. You just see it lose the rear end a little bit there, but we continue on out. Remember, straighten the car up very quickly, it activates DRS. We didn't activate it there, we could have done that a little bit better. Through the right then we go, trying to keep it very tight so we get straight and then we can use it in towards the next corner then. On the left hand side, that's what I'm using here. The green hedge, or on the left, just after the 200 meter board. You can use the 200 if you want, but the end of the green hedge there is what I'm using as we head in towards the braking zone. Again, third gear. You can cut quite a lot here and on the right as we go through there. Notice how much we cut and we actually gain a significant amount on our previous lap. Heading towards this corner then. 50 meter board. You're braking before this. It's actually in between the 100 and the 50. So 75, I guess. That's the middle of the meter boards there, and you want to stay in fourth gear as you go through the right-hander. As you leave there, you want to stay in fourth gear now as you head towards the next corner, okay? You want to use the second to last tree on the right. That's what I'm using. It's very much more obvious, in the race as you're racing around, or you can try and get as close to the 50 as you can, but I found that if I was using the 50, I was going a little bit deep. So choose at your own discretion there. As we head up to Ascari then, past the 200, we're looking for that 150 meter board, and you want to brake it a little bit before the 150, okay? Very easy to outbrake yourself into Ascari here. I did it many times during the practice as we go into here. So fourth gear, you want to avoid the sausages as we saw in the race. Now we click that one, you notice how the car instantly got unsettled there. Leave Ascari, be careful of oversteer, head towards the parabolica. On the left hand side, we have the 150 board. You're braking just after the 150 meter board on the left hand side. As you do this, you're going to go to fourth gear, and you need to be patient with this car now as you come into here. Be patient, let the car roll through the corner, and what you're looking for is that orange painted barrier there. The second you see the orange, that's when you accelerate, and you should be able to get around the corner absolutely fine, and that will be a lap of Monza here in the McLaren P1 GTR. Let's see what kind of time it is. Remember, just be careful with this car. When there's no boost, you will have to brake later, of course, because you're getting less speed with the 38.6. That's it for race A. Let's head to race B. Welcome back then to Road Atlanta. We keep visiting this track quite a lot lately. And as you can see, we are in Group 4. So a combo we've recently done in the Manufacturer Series if you took part in it. Well, this time, it's not a fuel race. What is it exactly? Let's have a look. We're racing 6 laps here at Road Atlanta. It's a rolling start, but no need to worry there. Racing hard tyres, tyres with fuel and tyre wear, and it's Group 4 if you couldn't already tell. Now, the GTR was the strongest car last time, so I went with the GTR this time. Let's jump to the race then. Let's have a look exactly what happens, because this one has some serious action. Here we are then at the start. The mixture of cars, WRX, quite a common pick here. I would recommend the WRX as well. We've got Shelty in the Peugeot RCZ. Now, that is an interesting choice of car. We'll see how Shelty does. The Ferrari 458, if you haven't watched my fuel video, that is quite a strong car, but it's not as good as the four-wheel drive cars. They are the dominant car here in Group 4. We know that already. As we head towards Turn 4 then, you see a lot of cars in this. It's a bit like a touring car race, this. It feels like a touring car race. Ginger gets it slightly wrong there. We're going to go down the inside of Ginger. Ginger doesn't realise I'm there, actually, but does manage to slow the car down enough there. We're through into P12. We just have to slow it down behind Shelty in the TCR machine there as we go down the hill and up here for the first time of 6 then as we go into the braking zone. Just taking it nice and easy here. No rush at all. Lots of cars very close together. Means lots of racing action to come, or we hope so anyway, as we head towards the double right then. So into this first corner. And basically what I'm doing here, I'm just prepping myself for the straight. That's where I'm planning to overtake Shelty in towards the braking zone. We go, take a wide line in, just boot it out of here as quick as we can. Notice that rotation we get with the four-wheel drive cars. It is unbelievable, actually, just how good they are, because it just turns. It just turns and it can go. So we're in Shelty's slipstream here. And we're going to go towards that left-hand side. We're trying to keep in the slipstream a little bit because remember the hitboxes are slightly bigger than the car. So technically, I was still in the slipstream, which is why I can get alongside Shelty here as we head down towards the braking zone of the chicane. We're down the inside here and we do get it stopped. So that's us up into P11. Shout out to Shelty, of course. What a legend. What a legend. One of the stars of the weekly race guide. Now, up in the distance, we've got 3 wide GTRs. Now, 3 wide into this corner never works. As you can see here, Exco gets sent to the realms. And it's coming back on. And I have to take avoiding action here. There's a slight tap. Nothing major. We gain 2 positions as somebody else was off there as well as we head into this right. And they're still side by side in the distance. So we've got Soggy Bottom Boys. What is that name? What is that name? We've got Wise as well. So through the right they go. There's a bit of contact there. But it's even so they're still side by side here. Oh, we got somebody sent to the realms. Captain Stupendous has gone. We got GTR off. Got Wise has gone as well. Raging Storm comes on. Actually, very safely in the grand scheme of where they went off there. So we gain another 3 positions, is that, in that section. And we're right behind Socky Bottom Boys here, who's indicated they're going to stay to the left. So we're going to dive down that inside then. Thank you very much for the position, but we can race, you know. I'm always happy to race. But if you're thinking long term, trying to keep that position high, then fair dues. So we're up into P5 then. Plenty of laps to go here. Only 5.5 seconds off the lead, essentially. So not too bad. Sai's got a penalty. So we're going to look down the inside of Sai then in towards the braking zone. And we do get it stopped there. So that's P4 for us. So Sai in the Alpha. The Alpha would be a good choice here as well. A good handling car. Of course, it's going to struggle a little bit on the straights. But even so, it's good at handling. You may be able to make some moves happen. We advance to lap 3 then, and we have the Aston Martin of Naeem up ahead. Apologies for the pronunciation. Through the left we go, and we absolutely nail this. They definitely don't nail it. They're going to get a penalty for that. That's track limits 100%. Be careful of track limits here as we go down the inside. There's that penalty just applied as we go down the inside. Then we're going to get this done very early. Through the right we go, up to a podium place and in towards the braking zone we got, and they absolutely dive down the inside here. That isn't going to work here. It's about the exit, not the entrance to the corner. And there we go, P3 for us then. Let's advance further on where we're in a fight for P2 at the very end. We've got 3 seconds up to the leaders. And in towards the left-hander we go. I think Al Sakran had a penalty, which is why I'm a bit closer. They were fighting together here. But we're going to head towards the double right then. What can we do? Can we get close enough to be in that slipstream to make the move on the Subaru driver? Through the right we go. And then in towards the braking zone. Take a wide line. Boot it out of here very quickly. We do indeed. We gain a lot of time there. Look at that. Half a tenth instantly as we leave that corner. And we are in that slipstream then. What can we do here? As we get closer and closer and closer and closer. We look towards the left-hand side then. And down towards the braking zone. We're on that inside. We just have to get the car stopped then. We are in P2 as we see that billboard. We hit the brakes and job done. Beautiful little move there. Through we go. We are going to get P2. Not quite P1 then, but we definitely have the pace for P1 here. Lots of time. I wasn't even going to set a quali lap, but then I realized we're going to do beat the meta this week. I wonder what car we're going to pick for Group 4. Do let me know in the comments. So an interesting race. Definitely a good race, this one. I think you can have lots of good racing action here. But in terms of race B, that's done. The track guide isn't no. Let's jump to that right now. So here we go then. Turn 1. What we're going to use on the left-hand side is not the orange painted barrier, although it's very helpful. It's just after that. There's actually a break in the fence. That's what I'm using here. You can also use the tarmac as well. Lots of little braking markers here. And you want to just slowly come off the brakes as you come through here and absolutely boot it round as we a member of TCR off there as we head up the hill. Now, on the right side, you've got that marshal box or hut, or I'm not even sure what it is. Essentially, as you see that, as that leaves your screen, you're going to lift off and just prepare yourself for the next corner. It's actually better to be, you know, cautious here and absolutely nail this corner, as you see there. Go through the corner. You might be better on bonnet cam for this circuit. We experienced that in the Nations Cup. Through the right-hander we go, and just be careful about understeer here. Don't use the grass, just stay on the curb here. And as you see, the curb goes straight there. As it goes straight, that is your braking line, and it's also your brake marker. The second you go straight, brake in a straight line, and then chuck the car in, and it should stick, and you should be able to maintain some good speed through there, as I demonstrate beautifully. Right, we're going to leave that corner, and I'm going to head down this straight. I'm not sure what's happening in the distance here, but on the right-hand side, you've got that piece of tarmac. Use that to start that as your brake marker. Now, I usually drop 2 gears here in most cars. So, you know, take that advice and use it however you like. But 3rd gear here, chuck it in. And you want to boot it out of here as quick as possible. And then what you're doing, you're preparing yourself for the next corner. Now, there's a red hut in the race. But you will also briefly see the barrier on the right-hand side. The red hut covers that in the race. But in practice, you will see a brief clip of the barrier. Use that as your marker, okay? Literally boot it out this corner as quick as you can. It's a long straight, long acceleration period. You need that just boost of power as you leave that corner. You need to carry as much speed as possible through that last corner. Heading in towards the chicane then, I'm using the edge of the billboard on the right hand side. You can use a 200-meter board as well if you want, but the billboard seems a better marker for me personally. As we come into here, you want to cut the left and you want to give yourself a nice line for the right, because you can absolutely boot it out of here and maintain the speed. Now, I had to lift a little bit because I wasn't too far to the left in the chicane. Even so, we'll leave that corner. We're going to head towards the line. And what lap time is this going to be? I think it's a low 24. No, it's high 24. 24.8. That's it for race B, though. Let's head to race C. Welcome to Germany, then, for race C, where, of course, we're at the Nurburgring, but thankfully, it's not the Nordschleife, it's the GP circuit, one of my favourite circuits, except for the last chicane, as you all very well know. Now, what are we doing here? Well, we're in Group 3. Let's have a look at all the race details, then. We're racing 10 laps. It's a rolling start. Do be a little bit careful, but it should be fine. Racing medium and hard tyres both are required. Some strategy there for you. Times 3 fuel, times 7 tyres. That's all you need to know. Now, in the background, you can see I'm in the GTR. However, for the race, I chose the Porsche. The Porsche is slightly quicker. All the MR cars are going to be slightly quicker. However, some of them are very dangerous, so be aware if you're picking anything other than the Porsche. Let's jump to the race then. Let's have a look exactly what happens and what exactly the strategy is. Here we are then at the start. So Chelsea in the Beetle. Technically, if I'm in the Porsche, I'm also in a Beetle. But here we go then. We've also got Mario Sonic just up ahead. We've got Max Power. Max Power is back. If you didn't see my short yesterday, Max Power showed me how washed up I actually am. Let's see if I'm still washed up here today. I'm going to head down towards turn 1 in this race. Constant is in the distance there in the McLaren 650S. Interesting choice. But as I say, the MR cars are going to do better here. So the GTR is still a strong car here, but the MR cars are just that teeny tiny bit better there, as we've got a couple of Audis ahead in Mario and Max. Now, I wouldn't pick the Audi personally because it is a bit of a treacherous car. Let's see how well they do in this race. We go through the left and then into the right. Now, I'm using hard tyres here because, obviously, we've got the required tyres, so hard and mediums. Now, you can pit very early here, and you're going to see that after, as we go by Mario there. I think Mario was letting me go there. See Max Power going for the move on the Ford Mustang in the distance. Another interesting choice there. Ford Mustang quite strong in terms of Group 3 at the moment. And Miles picking that choice as we head down towards the hairpin then for the first time of 10. In towards the braking zone we go. And status quo for now. Got a bit of side-by-side action in the distance. That's a Porsche, and I'm not sure what else there. However, we need to get past Miles here then. Miles looks like they're struggling a little bit. In towards the left we go. Just seeing what we can do in the Porsche. Not much practice in the Porsche. As I say, the one practice lobby we did with TCR, I was in the GTR. So the Porsche does drive a little bit differently to that car. It's much lighter. Obviously turns a lot better, but slower on speed. We've got Bilbo behind there in the Jaguar F-Type. And we've got two side-by-side moments there up ahead. Max Power and Consta. And I didn't see who else that was, but we get a good run on Miles through that exit then down the inside of the Mustang. Do we have the power to get by that Mustang? I think we do. We are a little bit ahead here. Bit dangerous. In towards the braking zone we go then. They brake a little bit earlier. Fair play to Miles there. Could have outbroke themselves completely, actually, in reality. Now, Consta goes in the pits very early here. Trying to get out of that traffic then. Pitting on lap 1. So they're on hard tyres. They will be going to medium tyres there, Consta. We'll see how he gets on shortly. But we leave the last corner then head towards turn 1. And once again, we've got some racing action in the distance. We've got Bjorn. We've got the AMG going very deep there. Oh, the AMG, it decides to bin it there. We'll have a look at the bloopers for that one. Not sure what happened, whether there's contact or not. And I made a very weird noise. So I hope you enjoyed that. Very weird noise. Down in towards the left we go. We've got another Mustang then racing the Porsche. So the Mustang looking like a popular choice here. Petrol head there going through the right-hander. Bjorn goes a little bit deep here. Let's see if we can get past Bjorn. This is where Consta's decision may have been vital because I'm in this traffic now, which is going to slow me down. Round the outside of Bjorn, I try and go then. Bjorn looking to try and keep this place in towards the braking zone. And they do keep this place. Well played to Bjorn there, keeping that position. Leave that corner then. And we're still in this train of cars up to P8 though. So we have made a fair few positions in this race. Down in towards the braking zone we go. And we do synchronized oversteer there between the Mustang and the Porsche. Through the right we go. Max Power, it looks like he's disappearing into the distance a little bit here as well. As we head up to the Schumacher S, then into the left we go. Lift a little bit. Continue on through. Remember, we do have Dirty Air here as well. It doesn't feel too bad, the Dirty Air, actually. It doesn't feel too bad. However, I do think it needs to be reduced that tiny bit more. But even so, you know, at least we can race unlike last week's race C. So, Bjorn there. I did a bit of a bump draft to Bjorn. It was accidental, of course. Through the right we go. And it looks like we've got a good run on Bjorn then. Looking down the inside of the Porsche driver. Look at that logo. Definitely a Porsche driver. In fact, that's a Lamborghini icon, wasn't it? I swear that was the Lamborghini. Okay, I'm getting confused. Anyway, in towards the braking zone we go. Ford Mustang in the distance. And they both go through here. Bjorn keeps that position. And what happens now? The Mustang coming in the pits very early then. So a lot of people choosing that early stop. So let's explain the strategy then. At the moment, we've seen somebody coming on lap 1, which was Constant. Lap 2 for Petrol Head. So you know the tyre wear is not that significant. I decided to come in on lap 3 because that was when I was planning to come in anyway. I wasn't sure on tyre wear in the Porsche. We're going to come into the pits and lead the pits again. Constant in the distance there by a good 6 seconds. However, we have actually done the overcut on the Ford Mustang, which is very interesting indeed. We did have a good actual in-lap, to be fair. It was fairly good. We've got to lap 8. Nothing happens other than we just pass people in the pits. Now, we're actually catching to the Polish driver coming out the pits. So we give them room on the inside. Round the outside of the GTR we go then up into P6. And it's a case of strategy. This is what this race is about. That's why there's not much racing action here. When do you pit? When do you get out of traffic? When do you actually boot it? So Shelty obviously led from the start here. Stayed out on the mediums first and then came in for the hards. So I know when Shelty came out, he's on the hards, I'm on the mediums. So I know I was going to have a good race here. 2 Beetles technically with the Porsche and the actual Beetle as we leave that corner. So let's see what we can do here versus Shelty. We've seen Shelty a lot today as we go into the left-hander and through we go. So Shelty keeping that position for now. Going to this right. The mediums have far more grip than the hards. They really do. We leave that corner then. And it's still status quo here. Then we've got in the slipstream though. Shelty goes defensive. We're going to look down that right-hand side then in towards the chicane. Quite a dangerous move here to do. Again, we did it earlier on Miles. Can we do it on Shelty? We can indeed. The different tyres there working out well. And we do get past Shelty. Bjorn comes in the pits at the very end there. Lap 9. Advance to the final lap then. Nothing really changes. Consta stays 5.5 seconds ahead. So good choice by Consta. Get out of that traffic early. Saved a lot of time. And gave Consta the win. Congratulations to you, Consta. PT though for me, but what you see there, it's all about strategy. When do you use the hards, when do you use the mediums, and how long for? So you can do 1.9, you can do 2.8, you can do 3.7. The choice is yours. Right, let's have a look at a lap guide then. This is in the GTR. Heading towards turn 1. You can either use the end of the tarmac on the left hand side or the start of the curb, depending on how well your car brakes. You know, in the Porsche, you're braking very much towards that curb. In the GTR, you're sort of braking more towards the tarmac. In towards the braking zone we go then. And we just short shift there in this car because we don't want oversteer. Now, this is a racing lap, actually, as well. As we come into here, we go through this left-hander. You brake a little bit. And then as you get towards the middle of the corner, there's actually an orange painted barrier there in the distance. You can't really see it in this piece of footage, but you've also got that tower there. You can use either of these as an accelerating marker. They work very well indeed. Heading down towards this left, you've got that light on the left-hand side. What I'd advise is as that leaves your screen, that's when you brake, okay? I've highlighted it early. Now, where you're on circuit, obviously, if you're on the inside, it'll disappear quicker. But if you're on the inside, you have to brake earlier. So it's a really good marker to actually use. Make sure you use the grippy section there on the left of the curb as well. Accelerate through here as quick as you can. It's a really, really key corner that you can use the outside line as well as we head towards this left. Now, as the short circuit goes off there, we always use this brake marker. You're literally using... After it's gone off your screen, essentially, you're going to brake and turn in and chuck it in as well. You really want to carry the speed through this corner. Get over towards the left-hand side as quick as possible. And the end of the red and white curbing on the left-hand side is your brake marker as you then go into this right-hand corner. Literally, you normally drop a gear here and you do have to be patient on the throttle. Very easy to understeer off. And notice I short shift again. And be careful on exit. You will get oversteer. And there is a gravel trap there as well, which will send you to Narnia. It really will. Heading down towards the hairpin then. On the right side, you've got that cab in there. That's what I use now all the time here as a brake marker. So as that hits the edge of your screen, that's when you're going to hit the brakes. And hit them hard as well. Hit them very hard as we do here. Now, you might want to do a V shape or keep it tight. This is like a mini V. Again, as we leave here, we short shift in just to maintain that grip as we head up to the Schumacher S. Schumacher S, a slight lift here, nothing major. Make sure you clip the curb a little bit. It'll get you around and then carry on through there. Head over towards the right-hand side then, and it's our usual brake marker for this corner. You've got the choice of the end of the concrete or the start of the green AstroTurf ahead. You're sort of braking in the middle of these two markers, and then you're going to hit the brakes. Now, sometimes you want to be over on the slippy stuff. Sometimes you don't want to be. It depends how you feel at the time and how your driving style suits to it. Head over towards the left very quickly, and as the tarmac ends on that right-hand side, that is when you're going to brake. So in the GTR, I'm braking a bit early here. In the Porsche, I'm very much using the last of that tarmac on the right-hand side as we come in here. Again, be patient with the car. It's very easy to just accelerate and end up in the gravel there. You don't want to be in the gravel. Long acceleration period here towards the chicane. Now, your brake marker here is the 100 meter board, or where the grating goes wider on the right-hand side there. If the grating goes wider, you know, it's there. If the 100 gets taken out, it's there. Do you know what I mean? It's there for you. In the GTR, you're braking earlier than the Porsche. Clip the left. You can cut a bit more on that right than I do there. Accelerate out. You can use a little bit more on the exit as well. Head over towards the left-hand side then. And the orange painted barrier on the left, that is your last brake marker here for the Nurburgring GP circuit. Essentially, just before that leaves the edge of your screen, that is when you're going to brake. And you want to keep a nice tight line here. Nice tight line. Accelerate out very early as you can. And there we go. So I think this is a 55.0 in the race trim, but you can definitely go 54s in the GTR. You can definitely do it in the Porsche, and that is the Nurburgring. That's it for the lap guide. Let's go to the bloopers. Here we are then. Of course, it's going to be full of bloopers from Monza. Oh, Fed absolutely sends at Misha. We did see that. Now, what happens in towards turn 1? Lots of people coming in all at the same time. A few people misjudged there. Wow, Chicken Angel gets absolutely sent by Misha. My word. Chicken Angel doesn't get reset though, but maybe it was worth getting reset. I'm not too sure there. Right, who hit me then? Well, we're on board. Shelty. So we're going to head towards the turn 1. Lots going on here, then in towards the break-in zone we go again. So sight unseen in reality, because he broke where Arkies did, and Arkies slightly tapped me as well, actually, I believe. And then, yeah, Shelty just full-on hit me there. But look at Shelty. This is the sportsman-like stuff. Shelty makes a mistake. He waits up. Even with a 5-second penalty, he waits. That's unbelievable. That's TCR in a nutshell. And remember, I always say with TCR, if you make a mistake, it's how you fix it. And that's the perfect way to do it. So well played, Shelty. So Fed, once again, in the action here, dives down the inside of the Spaniard. Does avoid them, to be fair. Tries to avoid them. Again, this is a case of bad driving, not dirty driving. As we head down into here, again, they completely outbrake themselves. They're on a pad, and they just get it all sorts of wrong. So, you know, on the start-finish straight, it was a mistake. They obviously went for the inside, didn't realize someone was there. Bad driving. It dived down into the second chicane. Again, bad driving. Again, here, outbreaking themselves. Bad driving. It's just bad driving. That's all it is. Not a lot of practice. Bad driving. It's not dirty driving. There's two very different distinctions there. Same for turn 1 at Monza. In we go with Raging Storm. Slight tap on the side Dobson. Nothing major there. Side, I think, broke a bit early. But even so, continues on through. Captain Stupendous then on the left. Oh, okay. The GTR just got tapped by the Aston Martin there, who then went into Captain Stupendous. Came on very safely, actually. Well played to Raging Storm there. Good, safe return from where you were. That really was a good return. But yeah, slight tap from the Aston Martin behind. Sent them into a crash. In towards... Oh, okay, yeah. In towards Barrier there as they clip the grass. As we see... Oh, no, Shelty, where are you going? Oh, no, Shelty visits Barrier once again. Good avoiding action from Shelty. Again, trying to avoid everybody here. And what happened to the AMG then in Race C? In towards the right-hander we go as we leave here. Oh, just too hard on that throttle there. Just no traction at all. Spins the wheels. Trying to get going again, but dirt on their tyres. That's going to be it for this week's weekly race guide. I say I do hope you've enjoyed this one. Please do get a like on the way out. Subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content. 2 videos there to check out, including my fuel one, which is very good, I would say, and it's very much you need to know. I say that is it for me, and thank you again, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream very soon.